Hey guys, so today I'm going to do a video just talking to you about my experience rereading The Babysitters Club. As you might have seen in my most recent haul video, I got a bunch of secondhand Babysitters Club books from the secondhand store last month, and I've really been enjoying rereading these so far. These are the ones that I've read to this point, so I've read 4.5 of them because I'm halfway through one of them, and yeah, I'm just really enjoying it. So I wanted to reminisce with you guys about it, because some of the things that come up, you know, from having read these as a kid, like 10 years old or younger, I can't remember, it just makes me compare and contrast to how I'm viewing it now as an adult. So firstly, just the nostalgia that these books bring on, it just makes me wish I was a kid again. I wish I was the same age as these girls. I'm kind of at the beginning of the series, so they're around like 12 years old, and I'm just really jealous of that. I wish I was that age again, so that everything is kind of fun. Going to school and stuff, it just sounds really appealing. When I hauled these, I was talking about trying to remember which characters were my favorite, and I thought that maybe Claudia and Stacey were my favorites from memory. I knew that Christy and Marianne I wasn't like a huge fan of. That's actually still true currently. I guess Christy and Marianne I just can't relate to as much. Marianne's story is kind of about having a really strict parent and being raised to be quite like proper, and then Christy is a super sporty tomboy and her parents are divorced, so she's kind of got that storyline going on. I guess I just don't relate to either of them, and didn't when I was a kid and don't now. But obviously, like, all of these books are still good, and it surprises me how much each book has a little bit about all of the characters. It's not focused on one it is from one person's point of view, but they still mention what the other characters are up to and what's going on in their lives, so I really enjoy all of them. But yeah, so Stacey has a huge emphasis on diabetes, which I didn't remember that from when I was a kid. I remember that she had diabetes, which is kind of like a random thing to remember about a character, but then I started rereading these books and I can see why I remember that, because it's a very big focus of her life. My favourite character is for sure Claudia, and I think that was true when I was a kid as well, from what I remember. She is super arty, which is awesome. She's quite sarcastic as well, which gets her in trouble sometimes. And the thing I love the most about her, though, which is kind of shallow, is that she has snacks stashed all around her room. And I remember reading about that as a kid, because it just made you want to snack on everything, because every time she's like in her room, she mentions pulling out like jelly beans from in a drawer, or like chips from somewhere, or she just has the best snacks all the time, and I am envious of that like snack stash. I want a stash of snacks, you know? Also, I can reflect as an adult that these girls who are 12 years old are a whole lot better with kids than I ever would be. They're really, really good babysitters. Like, really good. Really responsible, know what they're doing, they're really fun. They're like, yeah. I am kind of envious of their child handling skills. I don't feel like I have any. I babysat once when I was a teenager. I think I was like 15 maybe, and I didn't really enjoy it that much, to be honest, but that was probably mostly just because they went straight to bed and then I was like in the house by myself and watched a movie. But it was just like kind of creeping me out, because they lived in the countryside too, so that probably had something to do with it. But anyway, I guess I just didn't really grow up around kids. Yeah, there just weren't people younger than me around. I was always the youngest person in any given situation. The other thing I wanted to mention was that I'm pretty sure in New Zealand you have to be 14 years old to be allowed to babysit, because I think you have to be 14 years old to be legally allowed to stay at home by yourself. Pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah. So that didn't click when I was a kid, because obviously I wouldn't have known that when I was like 10 or however old I was when I read these. Yeah, so it's interesting to me that they're like 12 and some of their like honorary members are 11, which I haven't got up to any stories with honorary members, so I'm not sure how that works. But yeah, it surprises me that at 12 years old they're allowed to babysit little children by themselves and stay out until like 10 at night on weekends and stuff. That's kind of mind-blowing. I like that the parents and the families of all of the characters are so detailed, and when I say all of the characters, I don't just mean the Babysitters Club girls, although their families and parents are very detailed. Even the children that they babysit for, all of the families that they babysit for have like their own backstory and their own characteristics. They're not just generic random families, they all have like their own character to them, so I think that's really well done. And just the fact that there are like, at this point there are 5 main characters, and I know that there are more as the series goes on, and all of them are so detailed and so like you feel like you know them. Another thing I noticed was that some of the like American kind of references were changed because these are the like Australian publications, most of them I think, some of the things got changed so that Australian kids would like get it, I guess. So instead of mum being spelt M-O-M, which I'm totally used to from American books, and I feel like a lot of other kids would be too, they've changed the spelling to mum like M-U-M. So that's interesting. And they also changed like temperature stuff. They put it all into Celsius. So when they say someone's got a fever, they'll say a fever of like 40 or whatever it is in Celsius as opposed to Fahrenheit. So that was interesting too. It's so much fun rereading it. They're really like innocent, fun stories, and I totally recommend reading the Babysitters Club even if you didn't read them as a kid. My boyfriend was asking me whether they're still good like now that I'm reading them as an adult, or whether it's just nostalgia, and I think it is kind of both. Like I know that I mostly just enjoy them because it's like reminiscing from my own childhood, but at the same time they are good. Like I was saying, all the characters are really well developed and stuff, and I feel like they are like kids books because they're short, because they're easy to read, because all the stories are like very innocent and like have a moral message to them and stuff like that, but they're not dumbed down in any sense. Like they still deal with quite serious issues, and yeah, it's just in a way that children would be able to understand, I guess. So yeah, I don't think they're bad books at all. I just think they are targeted towards children, but they're still a fun read, and I totally recommend them. So if you read the Babysitters Club as a kid, or if you've reread them recently or anything like that, let me know that in the comments down below, because I would love to hear that. I did actually end up rewatching the Babysitters Club movie as well, which was like pretty cringy, and the movie was really cheesy, but I don't feel like the books are like as cheesy. I don't know, but yeah, it was still fun. So thank you guys for watching this video, and I will see you with my next one. Bye.